If you think Ozempic is the only way to burn fat and crush your cravings, think again, because what I'm going to show you today is completely drug-free, side effect-free, and much cheaper than Ozempic. You don't need any injections. All you need is this simple 7-day reset. I'm going to lay it all out for you day by day, and you could lose 10 to 15 pounds of belly fat in the next week following this simple protocol. And look, I get it. Ozempic, it sounds like a miracle drug. You lose weight, you eat less, and feel in control for a while. But here's what they're not telling you. Up to 68% of people on Ozempic gain all the weight back when they stop. It destroys muscle mass, not just fat. And the side effects, nausea, thyroid issues, gallbladder problems. And you've probably heard of the Ozempic face and the Ozempic butt. No thanks. We don't want that. The truth is, Ozempic mimics what your body is supposed to do naturally when it's metabolically healthy. So let's get you there in the next 7 days. If you're stuck with sugar cravings, a ton of belly fat, and constant hunger, it's because of cellular inflammation. Your metabolism is stuck burning sugar. We need to teach it to burn fat, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. So let's start with the first 2 days of your protocol. Here's what I want you to do. The first step is to remove the interference. These are the things that are causing inflammation in your body, preventing your fat-burning hormones from getting into the cell and producing energy and burning fat. So you want to eliminate sugar, processed sugar. I know that's obvious, but make sure you're not consuming processed sugar. You also want to remove a set of inflammatory fats that increase inflammation at the cell level, preventing you from burning fat. These are called seed oils. They are highly inflammatory, and here's a list of 8 of them you want to remove right away. Canola oil, called rapeseed oil in the UK, corn oil and cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, and soybean oil, and then rice bran oil and grapeseed oil. They're in 80% of our food supply, so do an audit on your ingredients in your pantry, in your kitchen, make sure it doesn't have these bad fats. And I would also suggest not taking fish oil, which is also inflammatory. Instead, you want to swap those out with fats that lower inflammation and put you in a fat-burning state. These are going to be butter, ghee, beef tallow, coconut oil, avocado oil, and olive oil. That simple swap right there will allow you to have more energy, less inflammation, and of course, the weight will start to melt off. You want to focus on eating whole food. We've heard this before. Stay away from processed food, but eat whole food. I'll give you an example. When you're at the supermarket and shopping for your groceries, and you see foods that are whole foods like potatoes or bananas, avocados, eggs, red meat. Guess what you don't see? An ingredient list, because you get what you see. But the potato, when it's a potato chip, has an ingredients list, and it's inflammatory, and it spikes your blood sugar levels, and it has those inflammatory seed oils. So eat whole foods, single ingredient foods. The third step here that I want you to do in these first 2 days is to drink plenty of spring water with high quality salt to replenish your electrolytes, because you're going to lower insulin, which is this fat storage hormone, which is the key to burning fat, and then you lose some electrolytes. So you want to replace that with water and sea salt. This stops your blood sugar roller coaster, lowers insulin, and allows you to have more energy and burn belly fat. This brings us to day 3 and day 4 of your protocol. So you have already made the swaps, healthy fats instead of bad fats, got rid of processed foods, you're eating whole foods, and you're keeping your electrolytes and hydration up. What's next? Now you're going to reduce your total carbohydrates to under 50 grams of carbohydrates per day, because it is the carbohydrates that spike blood glucose and blood insulin the most. And every time you spike glucose and insulin, you're telling your body, store fat. So you want to replace those carbs with protein and fat. You could use something like Chronometer or MyFitnessPal. These are free apps that track your carbohydrates, and make sure your upper limit is no more than 50 grams of total carbs by day 3. The next thing you want to do on day 3 and 4 is to introduce bitter-rich foods. These bitter-rich foods, and I'll give you an entire list in a minute, they support your liver. Your liver is a really important organ for detoxification, fat loss, and breaking down dietary fat. And these bitters stimulate healthy bile production to break down the fat and detoxify and help you burn fat. So you want to consume arugula, lemon water, lime water, apple cider vinegar before all your meals is a game changer to burn fat. Take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, dilute it with water, drink it 30 minutes before your meals. It is a game changer for fat loss. Also, artichokes, high quality coffee, anything that's a bitter rich food will stimulate healthy liver function. The next thing you want to do on day 3 and day 4 is to have an 8-hour eating window and a 16-hour fasting window. So out of a 24-hour period here, for 8 hours, you're going to have 3 meals, keeping your total carbohydrates under 50 grams for those 3 meals, focusing on protein and fat. So between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. is your eating window. You'll have breakfast at 8 a.m., lunch at, let's say, noon, and then you're finished eating at 6 p.m. And then from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. the next morning, you're in the fasted state. You're burning fat, lowering inflammation, lowering insulin. You could only have water, sea salt, and tea, unflavored tea, nothing else. After doing this by day 4, you're going to notice you're probably down 5 pounds, 7 pounds, some cases 10 pounds, more energy, better sleep, and of course, more confidence. This brings us to day 5 and day 6 of the 7-day reset. You're going to push the fasting schedule from 16 hours to 18 hours. So now your calendar is going to be, your eating window is going to be between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. You're going to skip breakfast, have only lunch and dinner, and focusing on protein and fat, keeping your total carbs under 50 grams for those 2 meals. This is going to allow more fat burning, more ketone production. You're going to lower inflammation. It's going to help with brain fog. You're just going to feel like a freaking rock star. You might want to consider adding in some mitochondrial support at this time. I talk about this in my brand new book, Metabolic Freedom, which just released this week. And I have a special opportunity for you to get some cool things when you buy the book today, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. And I talk about these mitochondrial support. So taking magnesium is a great idea. 400 milligrams to 600 milligrams of magnesium before bed, great idea. Taking a B complex supplement, great idea. Getting steps and movement is great for fat loss and mitochondrial support. So by day 5 and 6, you want to aim to be getting 10,000 steps a day. And if you could time those steps, the walk, with a 10-minute walk after your meals, you're going to get the most results here. At this point, what's happening here is a process called autophagy starting to kick in, which is this cellular cleanup process I talk about in chapter 8 of Metabolic Freedom, where your body is looking for damaged mitochondria, damaged cells that are not burning fat well, not producing energy well, and it's cleaning it out, like Pac-Man going within your cells, cleaning out the junk, and you're activating this on day 5 and day 6 of this 7-day reset. On day 7, the final day here in your 7-day protocol, you're going to do a 24-hour water fast. So if you're done eating at 6 p.m. on this previous day, you're going to wait until 6 p.m. on this final day to break your fast. You're going to be in that fasted state, just having water, unflavored tea, even coffee is okay, for 24 hours. This is going to allow you to restore your gut microbiome. It helps with leaky gut, acid reflux, and GERD, lower inflammation, lower insulin, tap into stored fat, and also get more of that autophagy process. Everything I just shared with you works even better than Ozempic, and you don't have to spend $1,500 a month on Ozempic, which is the average cost. This is a lot cheaper, it's a lot more effective, and there are no side effects. I'll put details for the protocol in the notes down below so you could follow it, and then after 7 days, you're gonna lose 10 to 15 pounds, have more energy, and feel like a rock star. I have some questions I'm going to answer for you based off of this lesson. Before I do, I have a special opportunity that I've never offered before. So hold on to your metabolic hats. Check this out. My brand new book, Metabolic Freedom, just hit the bookstores. And for anybody who goes into Barnes & Noble, which is an American bookstore all across the nation here in the US, and you purchase the book in store today only, I'm going to give you the following gifts. I'm going to give you a 60-minute question and answer with me. Anybody who buys the book in the bookstores today will get a Zoom registration for a video call with me and the other small group of people who buy the book in stores. I'm going to answer your questions, a Q&A with me. You're also going to get an entire course on the metabolism for free. You're going to get my seed oil allergy card. You're going to get my Burn Fat Challenge sessions with detailed notes and my presentation slides, and exclusive interviews with Dr. Jason Fung, Megan Ramos, Dr. Pompa, and Cynthia Thurlow. This is worth $7,000, and you could get all this for free. So here's what you need to do. Whether you're watching on the YouTube or listening on the podcast, here are the steps. You're going to click the link in the notes of this video. I have it right at the top. It's going to take you to Barnes & Noble, and you're going to click on the button that says Pick Up in Store, and it'll show you which Barnes & Noble in your location has Metabolic Freedom in stock. You're gonna go to Barnes & Noble, buy the book, take a photo of your receipt, your in-store receipt, and you're going to email that to support@ketocamp.com, camp with a K, support@ketocamp.com, and you're going to get full access to the $7,000 worth in free gifts, which includes a Q&A with me. We'll put all those details down below. Today is the only day, Friday, May 16th, to get this offer. If you're watching this after the fact, or if you're not in the US, you could go to metabolicfreedombook.com and still get some free gifts as well, which we'll reference down below in the notes. Now let's get to your questions. Can I do this protocol if I'm diabetic or on medication? If you're on any medication, always speak with your doctor before any dietary changes. But I'll tell you what, I've worked with thousands of diabetics, type 2 primarily, and insulin-resistant individuals, and this protocol works extremely well. So yes, it can work, but if you're on medication, speak to your doctor. Do I need to count calories or track macros during this reset? Do not track calories. Calories are a distraction, but macros we are going to track. We're going to track our total carbs. And remember, by day 3 and 4, that's going to be under 50 grams per day for the remainder of the protocol for those 7 days starting on day 3. How strict do I need to be for this to work? I don't expect you to do this 100%. If you do, you'll get the most results. But if you're at least 80% consistent here, you're going to get amazing results. How do I know if this is working if the scale doesn't move right away? Most people are going to lose 10 to 15 pounds in the first 7 days following this protocol. But also pay attention to what I call non-scale victories. Your energy levels, how your clothes fit, your sleep, your recovery, your confidence, your skin complexion, all of that's going to improve along with the scale going down. This works really well. It's better than Ozempic. Follow the game plan. I'll put all the notes down below. Go to your local Barnes & Noble and purchase Metabolic Freedom and email that receipt, a photo of your receipt, to support@ketocamp.com. and get a Q&A with me, the core $7,000 worth in free bonuses. This is something we've never done before. So click the link down below to check out how to do that and share this episode with a friend. And thank you for watching and thank you for listening. And hey, if you love this episode, I recently published a video on what I think is the world's easiest diet for visceral fat, that organ fat, that you could follow in 14 days and get amazing results. I'll show you a clip and then click the video on the screen and I'll see you in that lesson. And I tried so many different approaches, and it wasn't until I followed this approach that I'm gonna share with you these 7 steps to burn visceral fat. That's what I achieved in a short amount of time, and I'm gonna lay it all out for you right now. The first step to burning visceral fat is to lower a hormone called insulin. When this hormone insulin is elevated,